Let's be honest, wanting to write a novel is easy. The hard thing is finding the time, the focus, and the intention to actually finish it. When starting out, we might think it's all about motivation, inspiration, like waiting for a muse to whisper in your ear how your story should be. But I find that takes a really long time to happen. What works is sitting down and actually write, no matter how motivated I feel. And that requires systems. As Jim Clear writes in The Atomic Habit, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. I totally agree. Dreams don't write books, writers with systems do. Hi, I'm Anne, I'm a book coach and indie author, and today I want to share some advice on how to set up these systems so you can write consistently. These systems will ensure that your story keeps on track and that it's even fun to do the writing. So as I just hinted, motivation is fickle. So I suggest that you rely on something else that is more reliable. And that is where the blueprint comes in. The blueprint is not a strict outline. It's a creative foundation that you build before you start writing your novel. It's something that helps you understand what story you want to tell and why it matters. Your blueprint won't box you in. It will just keep you from wandering off or going in circles. It's like a map with a few key landmarks that will keep you on track. For example, your protagonist's goal, why you're writing the story, and the heartbeat of your story. And even though I suggest that you finish your blueprint before you start writing the novel, this is not set in stone. The blueprint is meant to be revised as you go, so it's a dynamic document. And that also means that you have all the freedom in the world to write whatever you want in your story. So if you like discovery writing, that will work with the blueprint as well. Once you know where you're headed using the blueprint, you need support systems that will make sure that you actually get there. Otherwise, you will have a brilliant blueprint that will just gather dust on your digital hard drive. Here are things that I've found work. They are small, simple things that has made writing into a sustainable habit. I think one of the most important things you can do is having a creative writing window, a protected time that you set aside for writing, otherwise it won't happen. And it doesn't have to be long. I would go for at least 25 minutes, but less can do. It's just important that you protect the time so you get the writing done. The second thing I would recommend you do is reduce the friction so it's easy to get going. So leave the document open on your desktop, or if you are writing in a notebook, leave the notebook open on your desk. Just make it easy to get going. And the third thing is that you should write wherever it feels good. Don't let anybody dictate where you should do it. If you feel best lying on your couch or writing in a car, just do it. Do whatever feels natural for you. I also recommend that you end on momentum. By that I mean that you end, for example, in the middle of a sentence, or that you put in brackets, this will happen next. That means when you sit down to write the next day, you know where you're going. It's easy to continue. Also, you should mind your energy. Find out when the best time for you is. We all have golden hours where we are more creative than others. For me, it's in the morning, so I sit down first thing, but it could be in the evening for you. Just find a time and use it. I would also suggest that you create some kind of ritual. For example, lighting a candle, playing a certain playlist, or whatever. Just have a cue that makes it easy for you to go into writing mode. I find that these micro habits, or whatever you would call them, is much better than willpower or waiting for inspiration. They somehow turn writing into something you just do, a habit. They are the system that you fall to when you're not in the mood to write. There will of course be times when you can't write. Things happen. For me, earlier this year I was hospitalized and I couldn't write. That was simply not possible. But I made an agreement with myself that I would return to my manuscript by a certain date. I didn't know if I could fulfill it, but I made the date. And I just promised myself that I would read some of the manuscript so I could return to the habit of being a writer. And that worked. I suggest you do the same if this ever happens to you. It's not about putting pressure on yourself to write, it's just keeping a door open so you can return to it again. Another great tip or system is to make your consistency visible. Jerry Seinfeld had this simple trick that he would put an X on his calendar when he had done some writing, and he was kind of caught in not breaking the chain. And you can do the same to follow your progress, your consistency. I bet that will also inspire you when you mostly feel like just watching Netflix. Don't break the chain. So as you can see, writing a novel is not about chasing motivation or inspiration. It's about having systems that makes you show up inevitable and joyful. Your blueprint will give you direction, and the support system will help you move towards finishing it. Together they turn your creative dream into a practice and a finished novel. So this week, plan smart, write free.